Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So, now let's discuss about some facts on which the one-way ANOVA depends out. Okay, let's discuss that out. So, here I'm going to take out one color and let me start on with the writing. So, for here we have the one-way ANOVA test dependent, where that basically on what are the factors, what are the things on which the one-way ANOVA test actually depends. So, I would just start writing it from here. The one-way ANOVA, the one-way ANOVA test, the one-way ANOVA test depends on the fact that M is between can be influenced by population differences among means of the several I would add on that here among the means of the several groups. Fine. So basically the one-way ANOVA test which we have out, that depends on the fact that M is between can be influenced by population differences among means of the several groups. Right now, since the M is within, since M is within compares values of each group, since M is within compares values of each group to its own group mean, to its own group mean, comma, the fact that one second, let me get out some space. So since basically M is within compares the values of each group to its own group mean, the fact group means the group means might be different does not affect M is within. Fine. So okay, let me just take on the cursor once right here. So what it actually defines out, that the one-way ANOVA test completely depends on the fact that M is between can be influenced by population differences among the means of the several groups. Since M is within compares the values of each group to its own group mean, the fact that group means might be different does not affect M is within. Fine. Next we have about the null hypothesis. Okay, what the null hypothesis says. So null hypothesis says that all groups are samples from populations. So here goes the populations. So null hypothesis says that all groups are samples from populations having the normal distribution. So here goes the distribution. Fine. So the null hypothesis says that all groups are samples from populations having the normal distribution. Fine. Now, next what we are having, let me just close this out right here. Now, what about the alternate hypothesis? So, the alternate, let me just get down here so that I could write. So, the alternate hypothesis says that at least two of the sample groups, at least two of the sample groups come from at least two of the sample groups come from one second come from populations which have the I would just not write which have I would write come from populations with different normal distributions. Okay. Now, what if the null hypothesis is true? So, I would mention out that is as well that if the null hypothesis is true, if null hypothesis is true, so in that case, so let me just come down, get out some space. So, if the null hypothesis is true, in that case, M is between and okay, here goes the S. M is between and M is alternate. Sorry, not alternate, that's the within, right? So M is between and the M is within should both estimate the same value. Estimate out the same value, right? So basically, one second, let me go above. Fine. So here it says that the null hypothesis says that all groups are samples from populations having a normal distribution. The alternate hypothesis says that at least two of the sample groups come from populations with different normal distributions. So if the null hypothesis is true, so M is between and M is within should both estimate out the same values, right? Now, after this, we have a quick note here as well to remember out. So I would just mention out that note as well. So it is basically, I would say it out. It says that if the null hypothesis, if all the group population means are equal, okay, we can say that in null hypothesis, all the group population means are actually equal, right? So basically the hypothesis of equal means implies that the populations have the same normal distribution because why? What's the reason that the population have the same normal distributions? As it is said that it is assumed that the populations are normal and they have equal variances. Right, so it is basically assumed that like the populations which we are having, these are having the similar variances, these are having the equal variances, right? So hope I made up this thing very much clear to you regarding that how we can go ahead and check on first of all the dependency of the one ANOVA test and basically how we could say about the null hypothesis, right? So here I'll be stopping and now we'll see you in the next video. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.